This man killed his wife to have an affair with his student, and what's more shocking is he got away with it for 40 years.
Tonight, on trial for murder, a court hears that former teacher Chris Dawson wanted his wife dead so he could have a relationship with a schoolgirl.
People around them knew that this couple had an unstable relationship, but people didn't expect that he would cheat on his wife with his 16-year-old student. But if you think things couldn't get any worse, you're completely wrong.
Lynn did tell me that Chris was looking after one of his students. She had home problems and that Chris wanted to move her in to their place because she had nowhere else to go. I remember saying to Lynn, if you're having marriage difficulties, I don't think it's a good idea to bring a young student into your home.
He became obsessed with his student to the point where he would often leave her love letters, ask her out on dates, and even ask his student to babysit his child just so they could hang out. Eventually, their relationship as teacher and student developed into a romantic relationship. And in order for him to continue his affair, he came up with an evil plan to kill his wife and make it look like she left him. But after 40 years, someone decided to tell the police that he was responsible for his wife's disappearance. And it's not at all who you expect. Lynn Dawson was a 34-year-old nurse and mother from Australia. She was described by her family and friends as a loving person who took good care of her family and her patients. When Lynn was in high school, she met the charming athlete, Chris Dawson. The two of them immediately clicked and became lovers. Years later, they got married, had 2 beautiful children, and Chris started to work as a high school PE teacher.
I think all the muscles I'm going to build for you for summer. And the girls chasing you along the beach.
This is where things started to get sketchy. Chris fell in love with his student and started having an affair with her. He became obsessed with his student to a point where he wanted to get rid of his wife. So he got Lynn drunk, brought her to a secluded area, and killed her.
And Mum said, "Can I speak to Lynn?"
The first thing Mum said is, "You sound a bit sozzled."
She said to Mum, "My husband's poured me a lovely drink and everything is just going to be fine." And she said it with a slurred voice.
Mrs. Sims thought that unusual because Lynn and Chris weren't drinkers.
After that, Chris reported his wife missing and made it look like Lynn abandoned him and their children. Years later, he married his student and had a child with her.
Lynn's disappearance was always treated as a missing person, and whenever inquiries were made, the family was always told she's an adult, she can leave whenever she likes, she can walk away from the family home.
However, his new wife would soon turn on him, because when their marriage was falling apart, she went to the police and confessed everything she knew about what happened to Chris and Lynn.
His second wife, came back to Sydney and reported to police her suspicions that Chris had been involved with Lynn's disappearance.
And after a number of trials, they were able to prove that Chris is guilty. Because of this, Chris was convicted of Lynn's murder and was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Finally, after 40 long years, Lynn got the justice she deserved.